This thing on? Mic check. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. Yeah. Should you practice art? Or should art be your practice? I had a question, so I asked it. Not to anyone specifically, but to my inner God, you know? The one that's gonna be a master. The one that's more than a rapper. The one that's an educator. The one that seeks enlightenment. He travels with concepts. He's got the mindset expansive. He understands that his time combined with travel and concepts makes his mind convex. Sort of like when you look at a brain scan.
Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This show that you are watching right now is Comics Today, and it is intended to be a celebration of the best day of the week, that being Wednesday, which is New Comic Book Day. And as part of that, we come together as a community. We talk about news and current events. We talk about what comics that you all may have picked up at your LCSs, and we generally have a good time. I oftentimes have a guest or two on as well to help me to make sense of something that is happening in the world of comics and collectibles. But because I had an abundance of guests last week, this week there are no guests, so you're just going to have to deal with me and the books that I'm going to be giving away. I have a stack of books that are sitting here on the desk, and I'm going to be giving away over the course of this show. I'm going to be asking you guys some super random questions about some of the content that may have been released from the channel recently, some general trivia about me. We're going to give some stuff away. We're also going to give something to one lucky Patreon member. And then we are, as I mentioned, going to talk about some news and current events, the biggest news of which might be the fact that the Hollywood writer's strike is over, and the vitriol that has been in the comment section over the last few days when I've been talking about this in shorts prompted me to spend more time talking about it just because I think a lot of people are wrong and they need to stop drinking the Kool-Aid, and they need to wake up to the reality that people's lives are being affected by the strike, and the fact that it is over is a good thing. It's a good thing because people can pay their bills, people can feed their children, people can do what it is that they need to do. When you go for months without a paycheck, and you may be dependent upon government assistance in terms of unemployment insurance, you are not living, you are not thriving, you are just eking by. So we're going to spend some time talking about the writer's strike, and specifically how the writers have benefited as a result of the new 3-year contract that has been put in place. All right, but before we get to any of that stuff, I want to go to the chat real quick to see what it is that you good people may have picked up at your LCSs earlier today. So if you picked up something, let me know what you picked up. If you want to shout out your LCS, go ahead and do that. If you picked up a book that is not a new book, but it is a new to you book, we want to know about that as well. We want to live vicariously through you spending money. So how about that? Shout out to my man Matt Woods is up in here. Shout out to Tina. It is good to see you. Rob Boswell. I have not seen that name in a month of Sundays. It is good to see you, brother. Seth 11 is up in here. Trev, the shipping guru. How you doing, brother? Randy Resnake is up in here. I'm scrolling through the names. The OG. The OG is in the house, as is my man Mark. It is good to see you. For people that don't know who the OG is, let me put her name up there and pause so you can drink that in. Tina, it is always good to see you, my friend. Matt Woods, check it out, brother. The whatnot can be dangerous. Okay, the whatnot can be dangerous. I definitely agree. Herman puts up the best PORN. He puts up the best PORN on social media. He put up some cover that I saw. I think it was yesterday or the day before. It almost got me to pull the trigger on a couple of copies, but I resisted. I resisted the temptation. Herman, it is good to see you. Looking forward to seeing your brother and you in New York at New York Comic Con. Scrolling through the comments here. Richard, it is always good to see you, brother. Scrolling through the comments here. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of a public service announcement. If you have multiple screen names, I encourage you to consolidate. Get one screen name so I know who you are everywhere. Just found out that Oliver is also known as Mark 1. He's Mark 1 on Whatnot, and he's Oliver here. Just figured out who he is. Shout out to Oliver. Wait, I'm looking at you. Mark Andrews. I'm looking at you, my Canadian brother. What is this? What is this? I love all the new features of this channel. The channel keeps growing. Member for 1 month. Shout out my man, Matt Woods. It is good to see you, brother. Thank you. Scrolling through some of the comments. I am way behind. Dakota, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Somebody just said, sweet Christmas. There you go. I am way behind. Chris Bigger, how you doing? I show up and see an okay kind of wall. It's probably a spectacular wall considering that there's no DC up there. Considering there's no DC, it's probably considered a spectacular one. Frog Brawler's up in here. He says, light week for me, picked up Jean Grey, Iron Man, and Schlub. Schlub, that's it. I read Schlub 1. Is that 1 or 2? Phil knows what's up. Phil knows what's up. Steve White, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. He says his LCS is comic book addiction. He picked up Avengers 5, Blade 3, the Blade series. I've been enjoying that. 1 was good, 2 was okay. I'm looking forward to reading 3. Void Rivals, Stuff of Nightmares, Conan 3. Where's Matt Woods? Bryn Moore, and a bunch more. That's what's up. Shout out to the LCS comic book addiction. Scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys may have picked up at your LCS. Best wall since Pink Floyd. Slub 2. There you go. I have not read Slub 2. I read Slub 1. No DC, unsub, kicks the door. It's an ongoing battle, brother, between me and Chris Bigger. Chris Bigger only sends me news items that are related to DC. He does not see anything involving Marvel. If it is DC, he is on it. My man Los is up in here. It's good to see you, brother. What is that? Picked up Void Rivals at the LCS. Nirvana actually did the Bernard Chang. They did a signing. Bernard Chang, that's what's up. He got a Batman sketch and a Batman Beyond signed. It was a great time. I was literally looking at the line of people in line for Bernard Chang on Instagram a few minutes ago. It looked like you guys had a good time. That's what's up. Chris Bigger is the man, only in his mind. Only in his mind. Amir, how you doing, brother? Blade issue 3 was fun. I definitely hear Wesley Snipes' voice. There you go. You're probably right about that. I just rewatched, I think I said this. I rewatched Blade 1 and 2 and started 3, and then I realized that I probably shouldn't watch it, so I stopped that. Kenny the Collector, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. He said he recently picked up Doctor Strange #1 from 1974. There you go. Not a new book, but a new to him book, and a very good one. He says, I used to use my Fight the Good Fight account for my comic related. There you go. All right. Scrolling through some of the other comments here. It's apparent that you have blinders on, brother, for anything related to DC. Rob Boswell just signed up as a new member. What's cool is that you guys oftentimes see features and functionality on YouTube that I don't see because I use a different interface. And I can actually see some of these new features on my side. So that's kind of cool. I get a kick out of seeing some of this stuff. So thank you, brother, for signing up to be a member of the channel. I can't see the face. I'm guessing it's is that my face? Is that my whatever face? The Reggie face? Scrolling down through some of the comments. Receive my order from my comic shop and also getting an unboxing of the new slab live tomorrow on Gary B's channel. That's what's up. Steve's giving a shout out for Gary B. Real quick, let me do a giveaway. So every single month we do a giveaway from the folks over at Shortbox. They give me the ability to give away a $100 credit to one member simply for watching a video that comes out from the channel and leaving a comment behind. I like to say a substantive comment behind. And this month's winner for that $100 credit is Gordon. Gordon Sisk is the winner. His question was, where do I order comic supplies from? My LCS always runs out before I can get there. So I pointed him to BCW. There is actually a link in the description of all of my videos where people can actually save themselves. I think it's like 10% on purchases on bcwsupplies.com. I think they kick back a couple of cents to me as well. But I've been using BCW products since I was a child. So I have no qualms about recommending them. Shout out to Gordon for winning this month's credit to Shortbox. Scrolling down through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. I am way behind on. Oh my goodness, it is a flood of good stuff. Seth 11 just signed up. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. The support is always appreciated. I will tell you guys that the support is appreciated. You guys absolutely do not have to do it, but I appreciate it. So let me show you guys a couple of the books that I'm going to be giving away as part of the giveaway. And I'm going to do, I think, 4 giveaways of bundles and then a Patreon spread out through the show. And the bundles that I'm going to be giving are all essentially the same. So I want to show you guys a Hexagon Bridge. This is a new issue #1 from Image. I have not read this. This literally showed up yesterday. Have not read it. Rat Queens is a new square bound book that came in from Image as well. Shout out to Image Skybound for hooking me up. Somebody told me about this book. I want to say it was last week or the week after, and this one was a little damaged. I may try to substitute it if I have another copy. Kill Your Darlings. Kill Your Darlings issue #1. A couple of you guys told me this was a good book. It's been here in the room and I hadn't read it, but we're going to give it away. And then I'm also going to try to read it when I get a moment. Starstorm 5. That is another one of the books here. The Jack Kirby Star Warriors also dropped a couple of weeks ago, and I've had a copy for maybe 2 weeks. I think it dropped last week. And then the last book is Creep Show issue #1. So I'm going to be giving away these bundles to a couple of people for just random stuff, random questions that I will pepper into things. And let's just go ahead and do one. Let's just go ahead and do one right now. All right. The first person that I see that correctly gives me the answer, and again, lag is a real thing, but the first person that gives me the answer is the winner. And if you win, I need you to send me an email, and it has to have your screen name, your government name, and your mailing address, because I'm going to mail you something. So send that to me. What is the correct spelling of my name? What is the correct spelling of my name? This is literally a layup. It is literally a layup for somebody to actually get this one. I saw a high grade Silver Surfer 1 last month at a Comic-Con for $81. I'll never forgive myself for not buying it, says the comic collector gamer brother. We have all been there. We have all kicked ourselves repeatedly for passing up on a deal. Trust me when I tell you, my list is long. My list is long for the stuff. What is this? I'm looking through. Wait, is Dave Bratton older than me and I still people with hair make me angry. I'll just be compliant. I'll just be completely honest with you. The first one that I see is Herman. Herman's on the board. My man Herman, send me a email. You already know how to spell my name, to Regie@regiecollects.com, government name and mailing address. I think I have it already in one of the systems that you've ordered from before, but send it to me. It's good for my record keeping. Please do that, and I will bundle up a stack of Skybound books to send over to you. Shout out to Skybound for hooking me up every single month with some good stuff. Skybound, if you're watching, I'm still waiting for my Transformers #1. I'm still waiting for those copies to come through. You hooked me up with the Void Rivals, but where is the Transformers? That's what I'm waiting. Somebody used my straight up government name. Somebody spelled out Reginald. Richard, you've been watching this. You've been watching my channel way too long. I mean, you guys are using the full government. Thomas, no, Thomas, no, and no, Richard. You just use it. You just going all out today. You guys are going all out. All right, another update before we get to one of my main topics. GarageCon is going down and registration is open. Richard, we will not be looking for you at GarageCon, okay? Please don't ask me to change the date because it's not going to happen. GarageCon is going down November 11th. November 11th, it is going down. I had a countdown on here, but the countdown doesn't work now for this year for some reason or another. And no, this is not my garage. I wish my garage was this organized. Mine is just a hot mess express. But you can get details on GarageCon on regiecollects.com. And you guys now know how to spell it, at least most of you. But if you plan to attend, you have to register, right? You are coming to my house. And so I need a little bit of information on you to know, to feel comfortable enough to give you my address. So once you register, as we get closer to the event, an email will be sent to you with the exact address. But there are some details. If you are traveling or trying to figure out when you need to get in the car, you can use this city and zip code in order to get your drive time down pat. There is some details here around the nearest hotel. Will there be food? Yes, there will be. What is that food? I don't know, but there will be food, and there might also be some adult beverages at the appropriate time as well. All right. So make sure if you're interested in coming, RegieCollects.com, tap on the Garage Con icon at the top, and the details will be there. Herman says November 11th is my daughter's, where'd it go? The comment got away. Oh, my daughter's birthday. And Veterans Day, I'm having, I may have to bring her to Garage Con. Perfectly fine, brother. Bring her to Garage Con. It'll be all good. I can think of no better place for a young woman to spend her time than hanging out in my driveway. I can think of no better way. I can think of no better way to celebrate. Is there going to be a sleepover? I don't get involved in that kind of activity, sir. This is a family channel. I do not get involved. Phil Tastic says the wife is due on 11/17. Congrats to you, brother. I saw a picture you put up where the wife was pregnant. I wasn't aware she was pregnant again. So congrats to you. Are those Irish twins? Are those Irish twins? Somebody may have to help me out on that. Somebody do the math and tell me whether they're Irish twins. All right. So the big news item of the week, I do believe, is this right here, is the fact that the writer's strike is over. I said that a few days ago, and a couple of people told me I didn't know what I was talking about. But sure enough, the writer's strike is indeed over. The boards for the Writers Guild signed off on the deal late night on Tuesday, basically solidifying the fact that they wanted to move forward. They even told writers, hey, as of Wednesday morning at 12:01 this morning, the writers could actually go back to work. This is a very good thing. It ends nearly 5 months of striking. So Hollywood writers' strike was declared over after nearly 5 months Tuesday night when the board members approved the tentative contract. The members, the writers themselves, still have to vote on this thing, and that is actually going down in October. But the reality is that they won most of what they were asking for to start with. To start with, they got most of what they were asking for, which I think is a really good thing. The top of this article talks about the fact that late night talk shows might be the very first thing to actually come back. I'm personally not terribly interested in late night talk shows. I'm more interested in the series and the TV shows and the movies that I actually enjoy, getting those writers back to work and ultimately seeing those shows at some time. But at some point in the future, I should say. So the 3-year agreement includes significant wins in the main areas writers had fought for: compensation, length of employment, size of staff, control of artificial intelligence, matching or nearly equaling what they sought at the outset of the strike. Hollywood lost a tremendous amount of money. Studios, tremendous amount of money, only to give the writers essentially what they were asking for to begin with. Sometimes you have to go through some pain to get to the other side. The union had sought minimum increases in pay and future residual earnings from shows of between 5 and 6%. That's what they wanted, 5 and 6%, depending upon the position of the writer. The studios only wanted to give 2 to 4%. The compromise deal was a raise of 3.5 and 5%. So they are going to get a little more pay, a little more pay and future residual earnings, which I think is a good thing, especially if a show is super popular. They should be compensated for that, at least in my mind. The Guild also negotiated new residual payments based upon the popularity of streaming shows, where writers will get bonuses for being part of the most popular shows on Netflix, Max, and other service. A proposal studios initially rejected. They were like, no, you can't get any residuals, regardless of how popular Game of Thrones might be. You get nothing. The studios lost. The writers won. Many writers on picket lines had complained that they weren't properly paid for helping create heavily watched properties. The heavily watched properties that Netflix and others tout in terms of watch minutes, watch hours. Writers were not getting anything from that. The studios, the streaming services were getting all of the profits for that. I knew a guy that worked at the house of the CEO for Netflix. Yeah, he's okay. He's okay to give up a couple of bucks. The writers also got the requirement they sought that shows intended to run at least 13 episodes will have at least 6 writers on staff. So long shows, more writers on staff, those writers will also get paid. They did not get their desired for guaranteed staff of 6 on shows that had not yet been ordered to series, instead settling for a guaranteed 3. So they didn't get that, but they did get a guarantee of 3, which I think is a good thing. Once I guess a series goes from just being maybe a pilot show or something like that to being like a series, I guess that's when they staff up a little bit more. They get some extra writers on board to help with some of the writing load that goes on. Writers also got a guarantee that staff on shows in initial development will be employed for at least 10 weeks. So show comes out, you're at least getting a paycheck for at least 10 weeks, which again is a good thing. And it says on shows that will air will be employed 3 weeks per episode. So shows that go on, they will get additional pay for an additional period of time. This was one of the big sticking points. On artificial intelligence, the writers got the regulation and control of the emerging technology they sought. Under the contract, raw AI storylines will not be regarded as literary materials. This means they won't be competing with computers for screen credits, nor will AI-generated stories be considered source material, which is similar, I guess. What does it say? Nor will AI-generated stories be considered source material. Their contractual language for novels, video games, or other works that writers may adapt into scripts. So again, they're not competing against AI. AI is there. They can leverage it should they choose to. Should the writer and the publisher, whoever they're working for, choose to use it, they can, which is this next part. Writers will have the right under the deal to use AI in their process if the company they are working for agrees and other conditions are met, but companies cannot require a writer to use AI. So again, by and large, the writers got pretty much everything that they wanted. They got better pay, better conditions. They got the raises that they sought after, and they are not competing with scripts and other things that may be generated through artificial intelligence, which is a big sticking point for creators of all sorts. So again, the vitriol that I've read in the comments, I think is bananas. There are a lot of people that are like, who cares about these people? Who cares if Hollywood is on strike? Well, I think there's a lot of people. There's the 40,000 people that aren't working, that have basically been laid off. There are all the small businesses that depend upon Hollywood being up and running, right? The state of California has lost an estimated $3 billion because Hollywood is not going on. So you're talking about florists and set builders and drivers and all of the associated industries that are suffering. More importantly, the people and the families that are suffering. So when you say, who cares? There's a lot of people that actually do care. The other thing I've read in the comment section is that Hollywood is there are no good movies, there are no good TV shows. Everything that Hollywood puts out is woke nonsense. That's nonsense. That is drinking the Kool-Aid, and you are just falling for the line. There is a ton of great content that is coming out of Hollywood. And I ran down a list, 13 hours, 12 strong, anything by Taylor Sheridan, right? So Yellowstone, 1883, anything by Lioness, Wind River, anything by Taylor Sheridan is dope. It is amazing. There is so much good content that is coming out. Is there a lot of stuff that's trash? Absolutely. Just like every other time in history, there has always been a bunch of trash. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about comics, movies, TV shows, there's always a bunch of junk, and you always have to separate the good stuff from the bad stuff. But the reality is this: there's going to be some stuff that's going to come out that's not going to be your cup of tea. Ignore it. Move on. Find something that you enjoy. But this idea of spending all your time focused on the things that you don't like, you need to get a life. Sorry, you need to get a life. Yellowstone, man, Yellowstone is fantastic. The prequel shows, the 2 prequels, amazing TV. Absolutely love them. The one, I can't remember, the numbers all blur for me, and I watched them all in the wrong order. But the Dutton family's no joke. The Duttons, no joke. Okay. I can't wait for the new shows to come out because that is good TV. That is good TV. I mean, I'll tell you, I wanted to get a cowboy hat. That's how into Yellowstone and the Dutton family I was. I was like, I should get a cowboy hat. I don't wear cowboy hats, okay? I don't wear cowboy hats, but I felt like I should get one. No, Taylor Sheridan. No. Not Taylor Swift, brother. Stay away from that. Stay away from that. Taylor Sheridan, whole different. I was watching Lioness with Gamora. I was watching Lioness with Gamora. I was watching it because I thought she was pretty. Then I saw the credits. It's like Taylor Swift. I was watching Wind River. I think it's Wind River with Hawkeye. And it was Taylor Sheridan. I'm like, what is going on? Where did Taylor Sheridan suddenly come from? He is putting out some good stuff. Stay away from the train station. Dude, hey, get on the bus. Get on the bus. Do not take the train. If you don't know what Chris Bigger is joking about right now, treat yourself to Yellowstone. Treat yourself to Yellowstone. Trust me when I tell you. I'm going through some of the comments. Doug is up in here. How you doing? My favorite writer, he says. Reggie's gonna get rock the huge butt belt. No, here's the thing. I just go back to the 80s, bro. I had the brass belt buckle that said Reggie with 2 G's. I've always had a small waist. This thing ran from basically hip bone to hip bone. I think it said Reggie. I don't think it said Reginald because that would wrap around my waist. I think it said Reggie with 2 G's, had the big belt buckle. Herman, you know what I'm talking about. Herman, I know you had one, brother. Let me scroll. It is definitely a one-way trip. Yellowstone is just amazing, man. It is just good TV. Steve says, when Isolation comes to Netflix, I humbly offer my voiceover for a character. That's what's up. That's what's up. For you guys that are coming in late, I just went down a path of talking about how great it is that the writer's strike in Hollywood is actually over. The fact that writers can get back to work, I think, again, is a wonderful thing. They can get back to work. They can start feeding their families. They can start writing scripts. And I think that's a good thing. Fingers crossed that what has been started with the writers will lend itself to the studios and the streamers striking a good deal with the actors, because that's the next hurdle that we have to get over. They've been on strike for 75, 76 days or something like that. Writers were 5 months. I think the actors have been on strike for 75, 76 days. Fingers crossed that the concessions that have basically been made for the writers will put the studios and streamers in a position to be favorable towards the actors as well, right? I think that there's a thing of, when you make a lot of money, right? When you make a lot of money, sometimes you don't need to have all the money, right? And I'm a capitalist, right? Sometimes you just have to give people a couple of bucks. Give people a couple of bucks. You don't have to have all the money. You know what I'm saying? What is that? What is it, Reggie? I bet it feels good to watch Yellowstone when you're in North Carolina. Man, I'm gonna tell you, I talked to somebody the other day, and I keep repeating the line. North Carolina is the best place that I've ever lived. It really is. I had somebody reach out to me from the Bay, and they were like, "Hey, are you still living in the Bay?" I was like, "No, I live in North Carolina." They were like, "Do you miss it?" My response, no, I don't miss it, and I encourage you to leave. California was not good for my family. It was not good for my family, not in any way, shape, or form. But I will tell you, man, I watched Yellowstone, and I was watching Yellowstone, and I was browsing Redfin and just about every other real estate site looking for land in the North Carolina, South Carolina. I was like, I'm gonna give me a plot of land. I'm gonna do that is what some of these shows make me do. They really do. Scrolling through some of the comments here, I think we're talking about an Isolation animated series. I mean, we have Dave Bratton, we have Amir, who has a great voice. I can do some voiceovers. I think we have a lot of people that could potentially lend themselves. Steve White's on the board. I think there's a lot of us that can make some magic happen. I really want to come to GarageCon. All you have to do is to head over to regiecollects.com, tap on that button to register, and you are in it to win it, my friend. It is going down at GarageCon. Hopefully we'll have a couple of surprises. We shall see what we shall see what happens. I'm scrolling down through some of the comments. When I make a lot of money, I must be playing Monopoly, says Michael. Nothing wrong with that, brother. Scrolling through, what is that? I'm laughing at some of the comments. Well done. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Reggie, why? So 1G, just a single G. Why wasn't California good for your family? I think that there are a ton of reasons. The restrictions due to COVID took a toll on my boy. It made my boy a little obsessive about germs, to the point where he was washing his hands so much that he basically he cracked the skin on both of his hands. So we had to like put ointment on his hands and cover his hands up at night. That was a physical manifestation of what COVID in California did to my kid, right? So, my kids they went to religious school, but the school shut down big time, right? And at one point, the religious schools opened back up, so we were able to send them to school. But then you look over and you see people in cars, in full bodysuits, in cars by themselves. You see people walking down the street at night in full bodysuits, like legit full bodysuits. The homelessness, the disparity between the haves and the have-nots was very extreme, right? You try to explain to a 5-year-old why a person is walking down the street naked. It's tough. It's tough. And we didn't live in a terrible area, but you go places, and the things that kids, or at least my kids, were exposed to wasn't good in my mind. And mind you, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, so I've seen bad stuff. I've seen a lot of bad stuff. I don't want that for my children, right? And I can go on about why California wasn't good, but that's a little flavor for you as to why I had to get out of there. I got my family to North Carolina. We didn't wear masks. My kids started playing sports. They started going to school. They're socializing. Their worlds opened up. We couldn't even take the kids to the park because the parks were closed. How can an outdoor park be closed? Outdoor parks were closed. It was terrible. The fires that were going on, there was ash falling from the sky, so they couldn't even go outside. Couldn't go around people, and they couldn't go outside. That's what California was for us. And you could see fires burning in the distance. It was tough. It was tough. Scrolling through some of the comments here. I like California. Lots of great people are there. I understand some comments, but they're still great places. Don't disagree. Think California's great. Not for me, not for my family at this point in time. I was in California for a total of 13 years. First time I was there, I lived in LA. I had a different girlfriend / wife at the time. Life was good. We went out, we partied, we had a good time. Completely different when I started having children, and I had to explain things to my children that they were seeing. When you get out of a car and you have to dodge the person that is shooting up on the side of the car, or the person that is literally leaning against a building, defecating, that's what California has become. And that's just not a great place to be. That is not a great place to be. I don't want my family to see that kind of stuff. So there you go. But we love San Diego. San Diego's a little bit different. And when you think about where the convention center is, it's a little bit different in that part. But again, you start leaving those areas, it starts getting a little sketchy. Sounds like we living in California is like living in a movie. Man, I'm gonna tell you, Skid Row in downtown LA, scary stuff. Downtown, they have a brown map in San Francisco where it shows you where the homeless defecate outside, right? And if you don't clean up the feces, like if you own a house in San Francisco proper and you don't clean up the feces, they fine you. So cleaning up potentially diseased human feces, again, just not the jam. All right, so another trivia question. Let's do another trivia question again for those folks that came in late. We're going to be giving away a bunch of books from the folks at Image Skybound. They hooked me up with some goodness, including this one, which I've heard a lot of good stuff about. Kill Your Darlings, issue number 1. We're going to be giving away bundles of these things. Here's the trivia question, and the first person that I see with the correct answer. Hey, don't ask me the question if you don't want to hear the response. Doug, I know you didn't ask me, but I'm just saying for anybody out there, you ask me a question, you're going to get a response. You might not like it. All right. The trivia question for that stack of books, the first person I see with it is the winner. How long, and it doesn't have to be exact, but there is a number. How long was the writer's strike? How long was the writer's strike? That is the question. And I think I said it like 3 times purposefully because I knew that this was coming up. Only have to worry about where the Bears. There you go. There you go. Kill My Darlings is good, says Steve White. There you go. Oh, dang. What is that? Creep Show? Yeah, that's Creep Show number 1. That is Creep Show number 1. So you can only win once. Okay. You can only win once. I think that that's correct. I didn't expect anybody to actually get the exact number, but I do believe that that number is correct. Let me look. Is it 146 or 147? Somebody, I need one of the blue wrenches to help me out because 5 months is the correct answer. Wellbore says too long, which I agree with, but I got an exact number. I was not anticipating an exact number. Can one of the blue wrenches help me out? Tina, can you help me out with the exact number? 4 months is not it. Joe says too long. There you go. 10 years, says Steve White. Is it 146 or 147? Or is it 145? Somebody help me out. Help a brother out. I'm hoping that Tina is looking for it, or Matt Woods, unless Matt Woods guessed. I don't think that he did. All right, let me scroll down. Somebody's got to help a brother out. It lasted one more day after they announced a tentative agreement. There you go. All right, hold on. 145. This is what we're gonna do. Where is that name? This is what we're gonna do. I think it was Amir was the first person that I saw. So Amir, 1 in 100 podcast. Send me an email to Reggie@ReggieCollects.com. We're gonna take care of you. Matt Woods was also on the board because I think you might be right. Send me an email, Reggie@ReggieCollects.com. I'm going to hook both of you up. I don't know what I'm going to give you, but I'm going to hook both of you up with something. So there you go. Both Amir and Matt Woods, hook it up, send it to me, and I will take care of you guys. All right. Let me do another Patreon giveaway real quick. Let me try to pull this up. We're gonna go ahead and roll some dice real quick. And what did we roll? 6, 8. We rolled 8. So we're gonna randomize this list a total of 8 times, and then we are going to give away something. All right, so let's go ahead and randomize this thing. What is that? Is that 1? No, I think that's 2 now. Yeah, that's 2. Here's 3. And again, shout out to all the folks that are members of the channel and also Patreon members. I appreciate all of you guys showing your support. The winner is Super Honorable Nephew. Super Honorable Nephew, who I do not believe is here right now. Super Honorable Nephew is going to get this Oblivion Song Compendium, which I think is like 1,000 pages. We are going to hook him up with this and some other stuff that I have here in the room. So shout out to Super Honorable Nephew. This collects Oblivion Song issues 1 through 36. That is a lot of pages. Shout out to Super Honorable Nephew. Let me write that down before I forget it. And then I will, Honorable Nephew. I think he's been a member of the channel, of the Patreon for a very long time. So shout out to him. Super Honorable Nephew and all the other Patreon members. I appreciate you guys. We are going to be doing another giveaway next month. I don't know what it is, but I will find something. There is a hardcover book here in the room that I got an extra copy of it. I may give that away. It's nice. You can only get it through supporting a Kickstarter. So it is a really nice book. I might give that away next month as the giveaway. So let me look. Top 10 twice now for Patreon draw, says Mark. There you go. Super Honorable Nephew. Now you have to create a YouTube channel and read that book. That's a lot of reading. That's a lot of reading, brother. No doubt about it. All right. So let me do something else here real quick. We did that. Let me take this off the screen. If you guys are feeling frisky tonight, there is a live show that is going to be taking place right after this one that I want to encourage you guys to check out. The 3 Men in a Basement are going to be welcoming the writer for Marcus as well as the letterer. The letterer, Beth, will be on their show tonight. So if you guys have a little extra time, I encourage you to check out the show. I think Doug is also going to be on the show. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, Doug, but now it's out there. It is now out there in the world. So if you guys are feeling frisky, you can head over and check that show out. Doug, if you want to throw the link up in there on the description, I think people will appreciate that. All right, to the point of what I just shared there, I also want to let you guys know that we've rolled out a new package, a couple of new packages for Marcus. So we have package A for Marcus, which is the book that I'm releasing next month, which is cover A. We have package B now. Package B is a black and white copy of cover A, and this is what it actually looks like. And then we have package C, which contains covers A and B signed. So you have the ability to get cover A, cover B separate, unsigned, and you can get a package combined of A and B signed. In addition to that, we have package D, which is a mystery box that will contain a piece of original art, possibly from issue number 1 of Marcus itself. That is a little more expensive, but those dollars go a long way, honestly, towards us helping to offset the cost associated with paying all the creatives behind the project. And then there's also package E, which is the premium cover. This is basically going to be cover A, and I think we're going to do foil. I think we're going to do foil with a matte finish, the same way that we did for Isolation. That will be cover E. I'm sorry, package E. And then package F is a combination. It is a combination of a book that has been written by Carmen, who is an actual person that is shown in the comic. He wrote a book, Blindsided by the Taliban. It is a hardcover novel that he wrote. He is going to sign those for us. And then we are going to package that with cover A and send that out to people. Shout out to Carmen. Shout out to Scott for their hard work and helping us to get this far. So if you guys are feeling frisky, here we go. Right on time. Indie Key Comics just popped into the room as we were talking about Marcus issue number 1, which is an indie comic. The other thing I will say to you guys is that on SWOLDIERpublishing.com, specifically on the Isolation page, I have posted up details of the first appearance, cameo appearance, and first covers for issues 1 through 4 of Isolation. Doug put that together. And we also released all of the print run information for Isolation as well, because I've created videos in which I've talked about publishers need to be transparent. I wanted to put the totals out there. You now know the significance of every issue of Isolation, as well as the exact print run totals. All of that is available on SWOLDIERpublishing.com, specifically the Isolation page. There is a link right at the top. And like I said, if you're feeling frisky, make sure you support Marcus. Marcus issue number 1 is going to be dropping. All right. Scrolling down through some of the comments here, Tina hates IG with a passion. You can't do it all. You cannot do all the social media. Rob says, I bid $10. That's what's up. We appreciate you, brother. Scrolling down. Actually, what's funny is because Tina doesn't like Instagram, we put a feed for Instagram, for my Instagram, in the Discord. And we also put a feed on regiecollects.com so that people that don't have Instagram can actually see some of the Instagram posts that go up. I think the one that is on my website is actually broken at the moment, but fingers crossed that they fix that technical glitch so that we can keep making magic happen. All right, let's do another giveaway. Let's do another giveaway. Let's do this one's a little tougher. I'm going to need title and issue number. I'm going to need title and issue number for this one. What is the title and issue number of a comic that I highlighted in yesterday's video? I released a video yesterday. I highlighted 3 comics that you may want to consider picking up and adding to your collection. I outlined the rationale, the books that you may want to go after if you have around $400 to spend on a comic. Highlighted 3 books, the title and the issue number of at least one of those books. Scrolling through. Oh yeah. Okay. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Tina. So, looking at some of the comments here, waiting for them to come in. waiting for the comments to roll in. And while I do that, Whatnot sale is going down. Matt Woods, I'm looking at you. Whatnot sale is going down tomorrow at 8:30. We have some cool books that are going to be up for auction and also in the bin. So if you guys are feeling frisky, you can head over there and check that out. All right. Title and issue number. Wellboard just repeats what I said, which is not a correct answer. That is not a correct answer, sir. The first one I see is the OG Omega Men issue number 3, which is the first appearance of Lobo. I recommended that book at a 9.8. I think that now could potentially be a good time to pick that book up if you've been priced out of that book. If you believe that Jason Momoa is actually going to be Lobo at some point in the DCU, now could be a good time to pick up Omega Men issue number 3. I think the average price right now is around $245, or the last sale was around that. So that's a smoking deal versus, again, where it had been earlier on. Frog Brawlers on the board here with Uncanny X-Men 129, which is a mega key because there's a ton of books on there. This would not be the answer. This is the opposite of a good answer. Turok number 1, the opposite of a good answer. I'm scrolling through Richie Rich 119. That is not ASM 129. That is not a bad book at all. Not a bad book at all. Scrolling down, Captain Carrot and the Invaders crossover number 3, says Richard. That's a good one. That's a good one. You can't go wrong with some Captain Carrot. Scrolling down, Captain Sugar Bear. You guys are hilarious. You guys are hilarious. All right. So there you go. If you guys haven't watched that video, I encourage you to check it out because I think it's a good video. So Tina, make sure, for my records, even though I know where you live, Tina, send me an email to Reggie@RegieCollects.com and I will bundle up a stack of books, including Kill Your Darlings number 1 from Image Skybound. Hook it up. We got some Creep Show. So again, I think I have one more bundle that we can give away. Creep Show, some Jack Kirby, Star Warriors. What is this? Star Storm is another book. Rat Queens. All of these are from Skybound/Image. And Hexagon Bridge, if I didn't just put a spine tick in there, is the last book that I'm going to be bundling up to send out to folks. There you go. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. You'll like the Creep Show. It was good. She likes that kind of stuff. I think she may enjoy that one. It's a interesting cover. It's an interesting cover. Little devil and angel sitting on the shoulders of a child. Yeah, that's creepy, no doubt about it. All right. So one of the last things that I want to hit on, and I haven't read this article in great detail. It's interesting. So part of the reason why I'm kind of excited about writers actually getting back to write, and hopefully Hollywood opening back up, is that maybe we can actually get some good news out, because it feels like we're digging too much into rumors, and we are revisiting and rehashing old news because there's no new news out. At least that's my feeling. Because like this one, I feel like we've heard this already. James Gunn reveals 3 actors who will continue playing their DC characters in the DCU. I feel like we've already heard this. And it's John Cena as Peacemaker, the guy that played the Blue Beetle, and Amanda Waller, or the woman that played Amanda Waller. I think we had heard a long time ago that those folks will be reprising their roles in the DCU. But again, Viola Davis, that's her name, as Amanda Waller. James Gunn revealed which DC actors will be reprising their role in the DCU. He did this on Threads. Again, the guy that played Blue Beetle, John Cena's Peacemaker, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. Again, I felt like we had already known that, but this was news. This was news that came out from comicbook.com. You heard it here first. And also, who is that woman? I think I know her. But again, I wanted to throw that up there because somehow or another that needed to be clarified. So there you have it. That is the late breaking news. Again, super glad that the writers are back to writing. That way we can actually start to see some new content come out of Hollywood. So I thought Gal Gadot was confirmed recently. I have not seen that, brother. I had not seen that. I heard that. I'm trying to remember fact from rumor. I think she alluded to the fact that James Gunn and Peter Safran indicated that they were going to write Wonder Woman 3 together, or she was going to participate with Wonder Woman 3. That was the last rumor that I heard. I I can't recall anything after that. You guys know I try to cover a lot of the news and not just the rumor. That was the last thing that I heard. Amanda Waller was low key VIP in the DCU. Yeah, here's the thing. This is one of the things that is one of the things that James Gunn has hit on before. It's this idea that he will potentially bring more folks back, and he's going to reveal more details down the road. So we could get more Robbie. We could get who was another actor? There was another Gail. We could get her again. I don't think that he's given us the exhaustive list of who might come back. I think that he's kept the door open, that people that he's, by and large, people that he's worked with in the past, he may bring those folks back. And yeah, so we'll see how it plays out. Is there more to say about Conan? Is there? I don't know that there's more to say about Conan. I don't know about that. I feel like there's like everything that's been said about Conan has been said, and there's no need to revisit it, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Idris Elba, man, I like Idris. I mean, you can't blame any of these people for wanting to come back. You know what I'm saying? Forget what Martin Scorsese said. I don't think you can blame any of these people for wanting to come back, right? Work is work. And these movies, the movies might be great. They might just be okay, but it's still work, right? If you are trying to work and earn a living, you want to work, right? And maybe you got into the role and you want to do it for that reason, or maybe you like working for a particular writer or a director or producer. Maybe you like the people that you work with, and that's part of the reason why you want to come back. Whatever the reason is, you can't really blame them. You can't really blame them. A Barbie Suicide Squad crossover. That would be interesting. That would be interesting right there. Mark says there's always more room to talk about Conan. Conan just dropped a new series last month. Lots to talk about. New publisher, new series. I've heard good things about it so far. I can't remember who said it, and it wasn't you. Somebody else mentioned that and said that it was a good one. I've been an Idris Elba fan since The Wire, since he played Stringer Bell. So by and large, if he's in a movie, I try to watch it. Except some of the English stuff. I can't. Some of the English stuff I struggle with that. Because there's one Luther. Is it Luther? I tried to watch that a couple of times. I can't seem to get into that one. I can't seem to get into that. Tommy, how you doing, brother? It is good to see showing some love, Reggie. Tommy, welcome to the live stream, brother. It is good to see you. Conan 3 was sold out at 2 LCSs in my area today. I had to go to eBay, so maybe there is some magic there. New Conan is very good, says Joe. Matt Woods told me to say. Well done. Man, I've watched it beginning to end at least 2 times. At least 2 times, and I've dabbled a couple of other times over the year. The Wire is amazing. And what's funny is I own real estate in Baltimore. I can tell you for a fact, it's real. What you see in The Wire, man, it is sketchy up there. What is that? I'm scrolling through. The Wire is a classic, no doubt about it. Doug says, yes, The Wire was amazing. Luther is a fun. I don't know, brother. I struggle. I struggle sometimes getting into shows. And if I struggle too much, I just bail on them. Sometimes I stick with it, or sometimes somebody convinces me to stick with it. I revisit it. And sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's just awful, just god awful. Yeah, I may have to check out, I may have to check out Conan, because people seem to be saying some really good stuff about it. Baltimore is as sketchy as it gets. Yeah, I own I own 3. Yeah, I own 3 houses in Baltimore. I own one, and then around the corner there was another, and directly across the street from that one was another. So I own 3 in like a 2-block or an L-shaped radius, right? So really tight proximity. I went up there, got my rent, didn't deviate too much from the beaten path, because Baltimore is a very, oh man, I haven't been to Philadelphia in a very long time, so I can't be the judge of that, but I will tell you Baltimore is tough. It is tough. Baltimore folks are ready. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Baltimore is my kids never went up there. I didn't even have kids at the time, so my kids never saw it. When kids are involved, it gets very different. When adults are involved, it's a different ball game. Kids change the dynamic. Nothing about it. You guys are hilarious. All right, I think I've given away all the stuff that I want to give away. One last thing. Huge shout out for a couple of people. Let me throw this thing up here real quick. Let me see if I can get this thing. See if I can get this thing right. All right, let me share this real quick. There are some people that have helped us to make magic happen when it comes to this book right here. Marcus issue #1 dropping at and after New York Comic Con. Fingers crossed we released the print. We released the print totals to the printer today. Fingers crossed that they can make that magic happen so that we can get this book done. Shout out to Jaff. JAF is a comic shop. Jaff Comics in Bethlehem, PA. They have been a supporter of Isolation and now Marcus big time. They are taking out an ad. They are doing an exclusive cover. They are having copies of cover A, cover B, and they're exclusive. So shout out to Jaff. Shout out to Cyberspace Comics because they have been a supporter of both Marcus and Isolation since day one. Captain Can Comics in Canada. If you are in Canada, reach out to them. Let them know that you want to get a copy of Marcus. Save yourself a little bit of money on shipping. They will have inventory. Reach out to them. Make that magic happen. And then last but certainly not least, Blue Chip Comics. They came through with a solid ad for Marcus issue #1. These folks and all the folks that have picked up packages have put us in a position to be able to actually finish this comic up, get it printed, which is a huge effort. If you bought a package, thank you very much. If you are a comic shop that supported Marcus, thank you very much. Shout out to the creative team behind the project. They worked their tails off to make the magic happen, and they are going to, some of them, be at New York Comic Con. So if you're feeling frisky, we'll be at New York Comic Con. Both Isolation and the Marcus creative teams will be on site to sign your books and all that good stuff. It is out the door, ready to go. Technically, we released the book a couple of days ago to the printer, but I just gave them updated numbers today because some of the comic shops were still ordering. So if you have not placed your order for a package, head over to swoldierpublishing.com, support indie publishers and indie creators so that we can continue making magic happen. There you go. Marcus on the board. He is on the board. Warren is a good dude. Warren is a good dude. I tell you that, and I absolutely mean it. Joe, we are looking forward to seeing you on site as well, brother, at New York Comic Con. We will be there. We will be making magic happen. I look forward to seeing you guys. And then again, Garage Con, if you want to come, regiecollects.com to go ahead and register for that. All right. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this live stream up. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. 3 Men in the Basement are going to have some of the creators on their show next. If I could raid them like we do on Whatnot, I would absolutely do it. But if you have some time, head over to 3 Men in the Basement and check out the interview that they are about to do in a couple of moments. With that said, we're going to wrap this up. If you want to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.
Straight off meditation, we was concaving until we had that eternal dialogue that created our dialect. Now we in distinct rooms with pure souls having them conversations. Synergy and combinations. You flying, we waiting. Indian style in the gold temple of greatness. When you follow the North Star, you coming for the education. This is my audio book. These rhymes are just the imagery. More like an audiographic novel or a memoir about a young MC making timeless music with his mentor. I pray I grasp my letters. Nothing was meant to last forever.